Spider-Man, but the director of this film, Mark Webb, I don't know what he was thinking. He thought this was going to be a piece of art, but then again, I know that the film isn't solely down to the director. It's a lot of it is down to the screenwriters, who failed miserably at this absolute abomination compared to some of the other Spider-Man films. I can't believe I'm saying that. But how bad do you have to get where you make the exact same mistake that you made in the film that everybody regards to be the worst in the Spider-Man series? They made the exact same mistake. They crammed too many villains into the one film, and it just becomes a complete mess. And not only that, the trailer is completely misleading. The trailers that came out before that, saying that essentially, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen the film, the film contains Spider-Man coming up against Electro, played by Jamie Foxx, Harry Osborn, who turns into the Goblin, played by Dane DeHaan, and the Rhino, played by Paul Giamatti. Now, bit of story breakdown for you. Electro, the character of Max, who then turns into Electro, is just a forgotten, well, not even forgotten. He is ignored completely by everyone around him. He's seen as a nobody, basically, and his origin story. Everybody's slagging him off at work. He gets saved by Spider-Man. He becomes obsessed with Spider-Man after that. You know, for no apparent reason. You know, proving that this guy has no life, it seems, and it's his birthday, and he is told to stay behind and deal with the. Get it together. He's an electrical engineer at Oscorp, which is effectively the Deus Ex Machina of all the supervillains in this movie universe, and the copy and paste of supervillain stories. Something terrible happens to him. He falls into a big vat of electric eels, which, health and safety. You think somebody would cover the top of it. He falls. He falls from the ceiling where he's trying to fix a power coupling. He gets electrocuted. He falls into a vat of electric eels, and then he turns into Electro, where really he should have died, where, he got scorched in that tank. And it's just really impractical. But, moving on. The second villain, is Harry's childhood friend, or at least in this universe, we're told that they're childhood friends because of a couple of lines of dialogue, because he didn't appear in the previous film, and this is where the Sam Raimi series was consistent, because he was introduced in the first series, their relationship developed, and it actually made sense for them to fall out when he found out that he killed his father, whereas now in this, his father dies of relatively natural causes. Well, no, his father dies of a disease. Spider-Man isn't responsible. He is completely retconned from this universe, and I'm getting ahead of myself. And we're led to believe that we haven't seen each other in 10 years, but we still have this relationship. Yeah, but aren't we like 18 or something? Yeah. Yeah, we're best buds, man. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But that is nothing compared to what they do to the Rhino. Now, okay, I'm not of the Marvel ilk. I just come into it when I see the films, and I am not 100% familiar with it. But I mean, even according to the trailers, we are led to believe that the Rhino is a big deal. But no. He appears in the film for, I'd say, 3 minutes at the beginning and 3 minutes at the end at best. And the trailer, literally the trailer, they scrambled through the footage that they have in the final film. Oh, what can we use? Oh, we can use this. We can make it look as if he's a big threat. No, no, he's not. He's literally he's a cameo role at best, and it is painfully crowbarred into the film, and it's shockingly poor. I'd almost compare it to The Room. For those of you who are unfamiliar with The Room is possibly one of my favourite films because it's because of its bad production and its unintentional funniness. Made by a guy called Tommy Wiseau about 10 years ago, and it is known for its cult status. But you couldn't make up how bad this film is, and apparently I'm right in saying that it had the worst box office performance of every Spider-Man film, including the previous series, and they're building up for another sequel in which they bring in the Sinister Six, which is a big gang of supervillains in the Spider-Man universe. But even after this shocking performance, I have no idea how they're going to grip the fans, apart from, uber fanboys who know the comic book series. I mean, let's be honest, the only people who were excited by the I'd say movie were massive fanboys, or people who loved who loved the love story between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, which is drawn out for way too long, and it is foreshadowed way too much that we're going to say goodbye to Gwen. I'm sorry, but you could not draw that out for any longer. They milk it for all that it's worth. Oh my God, I'm actually going to Oxford. I'm going to study for this degree. We're not going to be together. Oh, but we're meant to be together. Oh, and don't forget my graduation speech. We're not invincible. We all die at some stage. You couldn't find a more overt way of foreshadowing. That is the most painfully obvious method of showing that this character is going to die. Yes, we know what foreshadowing is, but we are going to make it painfully obvious that we know of the method and jam it right into your retinas, because we have no concept of subtlety. So I think that will have to do for my Spider-Man segment.